Hello everyone, welcome back to FullGrownGaming's Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts. It's been a couple of days, or maybe one day, I don't even remember. It's been a little while, but also I've been kind of sick over the past couple of days, and hopefully you can't hear that in my voice, but I don't doubt that you can, because I can hear it myself. Like, I'm all congested, all my P's and B's and V's all sound the same. But man, you know, I've been playing, by the way, if you play it on an emulator, you can actually, depending on how good your computer is, you can actually speed it up. You don't have to play at this slow speed. And I'm calling this slow because this actually does feel slow after you played it like 4 times normal speed. And when I said before that I had to play through the entire game again, that was true, but it only took like half an hour because I was playing at 2 or 3 times speed. But yeah, we have to, if you guys didn't realize, I didn't even realize until I just started doing the Let's Play again, that if you go, like for instance, if you go from Traverse Town to Wonderland, like we did in a couple episodes back, you have one, track for your Gummy ship to go on, or, this lane. I call them lanes from one world to the next. If you go in the reverse direction from Wonderland to Traverse Town, it's the same exact lane, but you're actually going backwards. So I think that's kind of cool. I'm glad that they didn't make it just the same exact thing going both ways. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I mean, it's kind of like going, 2 different ways on the same street. So I think it's kind of cool how they added that in there. I guess they did kind of think of it. There's a TV trope, basically the developers thought of everything, and while it's not like a novel thing that they made it like that, I think it is still kind of cool. But that wasn't the only other thing, or it wasn't the only thing that was keeping me from doing, more episodes. First of all, and this was actually why this episode's coming out so late today, is because I have been playing Black, Mesa, the Half-Life 1, or Half-Life 2 mod, basically the Half-Life 1 in the Half-Life 2 engine. Cannot believe that it has finally arrived, because it's taken several years. Like, I was hearing about this a long time ago, and it's finally here. But I'm gonna go ahead and land in Traverse Town, because if you guys remember in the last episode, or maybe 2 episodes ago now, I don't exactly remember, we got the Blizzard ability, which is on Square right now. And over here, there are some candles. And what I like to do is go ahead and take out the chairs, just to make sure the Blizzard spell doesn't get interrupted by the chairs. Instead of hitting the candles, sometimes it'll hit the chairs. But what you're supposed to do here is actually disable the candles, or, put them out with the Blizzard spell. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Sometimes it still doesn't work for me. I'm not sure if you try and use your shield, by the way, or not your shield, if you try and use your sword, it doesn't exactly work all the time. Actually, it'll never work, I don't think. If you try and put them out with your sword, I think you can put out 3, and then the first one that you put out will come back on, so that doesn't work. But if you use Blizzard, they'll stay off, pretty much permanently. But what that does, it didn't look like it did anything, really. It opens this chest over here. I'm not sure if I showed before. You couldn't open that chest before. I don't think I did show that, actually, but you couldn't open it, and once you put out all the candles, you can open it. But I'm gonna go ahead and stock up on some items real quick, probably some potions and ethers and stuff like that, and I'll meet you guys right back out here, because we are going to be doing a lot of fighting in this episode. Alright, bought a couple of things in there. Let me go ahead and set everything up. When I played back through the game, I forgot to equip Donald and Goofy's, the weapons I bought for them in that one episode. I completely forgot to equip those on them again. So that means I fought all the way through Wonderland and fought the Trick Master with, inferior weapons, equipped. So that was kind of, I can't believe I won that. But what I like to do is give the Ifrit Horn to Donald, because he clearly has lower defense than anybody else. And even though he doesn't really have a whole lot of need for the extra AP that gives him, it does give him that extra defense. So hopefully he'll be able to last just a tiny bit longer. Unfortunately, we still have the Kingdom Key for Sora, which, as you guys know, is probably the weakest Keyblade in the entire game. If not, I'm not sure if there are any other Keyblades, but any other Keyblades would actually give you some sort of other advantage. Not really a big fan of the, the Kingdom Key, but we will be getting more items for Sora, or more weapons for Sora, I should say. For the next, coming up area, there's not really too much point in having Jackpot equipped for Goofy, so what I like to do is go ahead and equip Rocket and Charge, which are 2, like, offensive attacks, I guess you could say, for Goofy. And because we are going to be fighting pretty much a gauntlet of like 7 fights, I think, in a row. And in those 7, oh, another thing I've got to do, hopefully I don't forget this, but I probably will. Before the next area, or when we get to the next area, I actually need to go ahead and equip some items, because I haven't equipped any items, I don't think, hardly in the... Well, I did in the last episode, yeah, I was going to say I did a little bit. I need to go ahead and equip high potions and ethers on all my characters. And by the way, I don't think I mentioned this either. If you go into the menus, you can actually change Donald and Goofy's AI. And you might be wondering why you would ever need to do that, and that is because you can actually change like the frequency with which they attack, the frequency they use items, the frequency they, or like, I'm not sure if it's this game or another game I'm thinking of, but you might even be able to dictate how close they are to enemies and stuff like that. But as far as managing your characters and stuff like that, this game did a pretty good job. It's not just like, I haven't played a whole bunch of action RPGs with a whole bunch of extra characters and stuff like that. I guess Final Fantasy XII would be kind of the same way, but not exactly. If you guys have played Final Fantasy XII, you know it's not like any other Final Fantasy game. But I think Kingdom Hearts is a little bit kind of close to Final Fantasy XII. I mean, it's not exactly the same. But I'm not sure how much control you have over your other characters or party members in Final Fantasy XII. Regardless, you do actually have some character control in this game, and by character control, I mean, you know, characters that you're not physically controlling. And that can be pretty useful because sometimes, what if you don't want your characters, you know, Donald and Goofy, to run in there and die over and over, or what if you don't want them to waste items? Because you have to, like I said in the last episode, or 2 episodes ago, I forgot, I got the Wonderland episodes kind of mixed up, but you can't equip potions or anything in fights, and since this isn't a turn-based game, you can't actually, you know, use your other characters to use items. They'll just use them whenever they want. So it's a good thing to be able to like tone back the usage of items by your other characters. By the way, if you destroy these things, they blow up and give you the special stars or whatever. And those stars are actually kind of useful for the Gummy ships, especially on Expert. And by the way, I'm going to get another blueprint here, it looks like. The Shiva again. Didn't I already get that before? Maybe it was when I replayed the game I didn't get it. I was actually going to speed this up, but I forgot. Or I didn't, you know, got sidetracked with blueprints. But those special star things increase, I think they refill your power and your armor all the way at once. So let's go ahead and land here. I'm not sure, I don't think there's going to be a cutscene here at the beginning of the level anyway, but there are going to be some pretty cool cutscenes in this area. Now, this is the Olympus Coliseum. I kind of hinted at it in the last episode when I said something along the lines of, we're going to be going to a place with Herculean proportions. The thing is, when you start off on both sides of this area here, there are 2 blue trinities, one on either side of the place. I always thought it was kind of weird how they did that, and by the way, here's a white trinity, which we won't be getting to for quite some time. But over here, there is a blue trinity. On the other side, there's also another blue trinity. I don't know why they decided to put 2 blue trinities, like, right next to each other. I think that's kind of weird, but I guess you can't really complain because you do get some pretty... Actually, the items you get from those blue trinities don't really help you at all. I think the other side, I got a Mega Potion there, that's kind of useful. But over here, we got a, what was that, a Mithril Shard? And I think over here, we're going to get a... I think Dalmatians. So nothing we get from either of these chests is really going to help us directly. I mean, over the course of the game, they might help out a little bit. But as far as this episode goes, it's not really going to help too much. Now, that white trinity, I'm not sure exactly what that gives you. I actually don't remember. But these fire, you know, torches or whatever, I think you can put those out. But I think you have to have the upgraded Blizzard spell to put them out. And I think if you put all of the fires out, you get some items or an item that you need to, I think the item you get helps you with synthesis later on in the game, and I can't believe I pronounced that right this time. But I believe we will get a cutscene when we talk to this guy here.
Good timing. Give me a hand, will you? Move that pedestal over there for me. I gotta spruce this place up for the games.
Now, it might just be me, but does he kind of sound like Gilbert Gottfried just a tiny bit? Like, I'm not sure if that's just me, it could be. Maybe it's my altered sense of hearing in my state of cold right now. But let's go ahead and move this pedestal. Let's put all of our power behind it, and... it weighs a ton, we can't move it at all. And by the way, here's a yellow trinity. Not sure how many of those we've seen. I think we saw one in Traverse Town, but...
it's way too heavy.
What? Too heavy? Since when have you been such a little... Oh, wrong guy. What are you doing here? This here's the world-famous Coliseum, heroes only. And I got my hands full preparing for the games, so run along, pipsqueaks. Look, it's like this. Heroes are coming from all over to fight ferocious monsters right here in the Coliseum.
You've got heroes standing right in front of you.
Yup, he's a real hero chosen by the Keyblade.
And we're heroes too.
Hero? That grunt?
What's so funny? I fought a bunch of monsters.
Hey, if you can't even move this, you can't call yourself the hero? Yeah. Okay, so it takes more than brawn. Well, let's see what you can do.
Alright, now we actually get to do something with, in the games here. And when he said the games, it reminded me of I think, what were they called? The Fry Cook games in that episode of SpongeBob one time. Unfortunately, we don't really get to prove ourselves. We have to go through the preliminaries. Which, even as a kid, I was like, really? We gotta bust barrels? Like, this is our big chance to prove to, I forgot what his name was. How did I forget already what his name was? Man, that's really gonna kill me. That guy. Anyway, I know he has a really small or huge belly. I always thought that was kind of funny. Kind of like a large body, the Heartless. But yeah, I was like, are you serious? We gotta bust barrels like this? I want to actually fight some enemies and prove myself. Not bad for a beginner, that is. Thank you very much. I mean, it was really hard to break, 20 barrels. Oh man, we got 25 now. Now, the thing you want to do here, I feel ridiculous kind of explaining how to destroy barrels and stuff. But this one is a tiny bit tricky, I guess, if you've never beaten it before or never played the game before. You want to go around in a circle at the bottom of the thing, and this is what I do. And just destroy all the barrels that are at the bottom around the main area, and then work your way up. Directly above me, there is actually a barrel, not a barrel, like a platform, a barrel on a platform that is a little tiny bit tricky to get, but it's still not too bad. And if you really want to be fancy, you can actually, use barrels to break other barrels. So let's see if this will work. That was just a big old pile of fail right there. I was going to try and get this stack of barrels right here to go over there. There we go, that's what I wanted to happen. And for the final, barrel busting, I guess that's going to be it right there.
You ain't bad, kid.
Looks like I'm headed for the games.
Afraid not.
Why not?
2 words. You guys ain't heroes.
Come on.
Look at Goofy counting back there. Want to become a real hero? Start by mastering this spell. We attain the power of thunder, and we got the the thunder spell, which is actually, bound or binded. I'm not sure exactly what you would say there. To the X button. What I'm going to go ahead and do is save right here, because it is possible to lose here. What I did when I restarted the game, by the way, is I saved on, the 99th, and that's another thing. I always wondered why Final Fantasy X, why Kingdom Hearts always gave you this many save files, and my reasoning is that they wanted you to save at every different point in the game, pretty much every time you got to a new save spot, I guess, to save again, just so you could go back and relive every part of the game, or any part of the game that you wanted to. But I'm gonna go ahead and fix up all my equipment and stuff, and we are actually going to go ahead and fight in the real games. Alright guys, I went ahead and equipped some items on everybody. I'll just go quickly through it. I put an elixir, 2 high potions, and an ether on Sora. And by the way, I just left their AI, Donald and Goofy's AI, the same, because I didn't feel like messing with it. I don't think they'll be too much of a hindrance. But what I did do is give Oofy, I guess I'm mixing up Yuffie and Goofy now, but I gave Goofy some mega items, so hopefully he'll be like more of a support role, and I also gave Donald some mega potions, so hopefully they will keep me, stocked up on health. But I already had the equipment and stuff already ready, and I already have their, abilities ready, so we're ready to fight. But I did get a little ahead of myself, because we actually have to leave the area here, watch another cutscene, and then we can actually do the games.
Rather a stubborn old goat, wouldn't you say?
Who are you?
Oh, hey, hold on there, Fuzzboy. Wait, let me guess. You want to enter the games, right? Well then, hey, get a load of this.
A pass?
It's all yours. Good luck, kid. I'm pulling for you, little shorty.
Yeah, I'm sure he's really pulling for us. Doesn't he look like a nice guy? And didn't we see him in that flashback, or, that flash sideways thing, when we saw all those Heartless standing around that vision. I don't even know what it was. But back when we saw, I think it was like Oogie Boogie and stuff like that, we saw him there. So he's not a good guy by any means. Now let me go ahead and save again. I am a really big advocate of saving your game as often as possible, especially in Kingdom Hearts, because if you die here, you don't want your items to go to waste. If you die in the games or whatever, any items you used are gone. So what I recommend is if you die doing this, you just reload your save and try again so those items don't go to waste. So let's go ahead. By the way, how'd you get this? Can we enter the games now? Well, I guess so. We'll start with the preliminaries. I thought the preliminaries were the maybe oh, that was training, wasn't it? I guess the barrel busting mini games were training, and then these are the preliminaries. Now, the preliminaries are not really that hard. I mean, look at this. Just a couple of, soldiers and a couple of the blue... I forgot what the blue ones are called. I know the red ones are red nocturnes, but I don't remember what the blue ones are called. Regardless, they do use blizzard magic. I don't remember if we've even encountered those yet. I don't think we have. But they are weak to fire, and just like the red nocturnes, if you destroy them with a fire spell, you actually do get some tech points for that. But who in the world? Something tells me he'll be a tough one to beat. Who knows, maybe you'll end up facing him. You can't tease me like that, Squaresoft. That was Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII fame. If you guys don't know who Cloud is, I don't know what to say, honestly. Especially, I can understand maybe, I had never played Final Fantasy VII when I played this game for the first time. I know, shocker. But when I saw that again, I didn't realize who these characters were. I didn't know who Yuffie was. I didn't know who Leon was. Didn't know who Aeris was. Didn't know who any of the characters were. But then going back and playing the game after playing, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, all of that. Actually, I did play 10 before I played this game. But anyway, before I played all those games, I played this game. So going back and playing this game after playing those games just makes this game so much more powerful. And I can only imagine how kids felt the first time they played this game after playing Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. Actually, I'm not sure if there are Final Fantasy 9 characters in this game. I don't think there are, now that I really think about it. In Kingdom Hearts 2, there are, actually. And speaking of that, wait a minute. Say, you're better than I thought, kid. Wish he was here to say this. See this? Who? Hercules. He's a hero if ever there was one. Too bad he's off visiting his father. Well, I'm glad we got that little piece of unimportant information before we fought our fight, aren't you guys? I mean, that really helped a lot. But what I do like to do is go ahead and start off every fight with a thunder ability. Just basically because there are no enemies that are weak, or not any enemies that are immune to thunder in these fights here. So that really, if nothing else, it just helps soften up all the enemies. Because the thunder spell, as you guys can see, is kind of like an area effect. It attacks everybody surrounding you. So that's actually pretty useful as far as, taking out a whole bunch of enemies at one time. And maybe I should have changed their AI, by the way, because to me, it looks like they're wasting all my items, and we weren't really low on anything, unless I was just blind and didn't look at my stats or anything. Alright, this should be easy. Oh, no, never mind. Wow, Donald and I are going absolutely, I hate to use this phrase, but ham over here. We're using, 50 million Thunderbolt strikes here. Unfortunately, there are no fire spells in the game, I don't think, even when you get the upgraded fire spells. Oh, by the way, the magic spells in this game can be upgraded, and you're not stuck with fire. I think it goes like Fire, Fyra, Fyraga, stuff like that. I think it's in other games like that as well, other Final Fantasy games.
That little punk is your next opponent, okay? Now don't blow it. Just take him out.
The great god of the underworld is afraid of a kid? Sorry, but my contract says...
I know! You think I don't know? I wrote the contract! I know it says you're only required to kill Hercules in this tournament. But you gotta fight that kid to get to him. Come on. Hey, it's like that old goat says. Rule number 11. It's all just a game. So let loose and have fun with it. I mean, a casualty or two along the way. It's no big deal, right? Jeez. Stiffer than the stiffs back home. Still, suckers like him are hard to come by.
Alright, so I guess, by the way, I was talking about fire. Let me just finish up that conversation real quick. I was saying that I don't think any of the fire upgrades are any more than, you know, one-shot spells. And by that I mean most of the fire spells, or the fire spell that we do have right now, are really just designed to attack one enemy, but, you know, high strength. And to me, the thunder ability is more like, you know, attack more than one enemy, but weaker, you know, attack power. But I think fire remains just really like a one enemy targeting spell. But that, you know, cutscene right there with Cloud and Hades, which is a really weird combination when you think about it. And man, they are doing some work on this large body over here. But you can kind of see how he's kind of like Cloud at the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, because, you know, he's got the contract. He's got to do what the contract says. So I think that's kind of cool, especially. And why is Goofy giving the loser sign? That's kind of funny, but oh my goodness, we are fighting Cloud. I can't believe this. Like I said, didn't have too much of an impact on me when I played the game for the first time. Did he just like home in the air like that? That was kind of weird. But yeah, it didn't have too much of an effect on me the first time I played the game, but playing it again after playing Final Fantasy VII, I'm just like, oh my goodness, look how big the sword is. It's got tape all over it. That must mean he means business. And also, he's got this Sonic Blade ability that he didn't really have in Final Fantasy VII. Are you kidding me? Come on. It's like he goes up in the air and I try and dodge and he homes in on me. I thought they just used a potion on me as well. Like, oh my, come on, that's so cheap. But anyway, yeah, I thought he used a potion on me, then I used one on myself, but I don't think that was the case. But yeah, he didn't have this ability in Final Fantasy VII as far as I know. And then all of a sudden it kind of became his signature move in this game. And one thing that I like to do is get right up in his face. When he tries to swing on you like that, that is when you really want to get in his face, in my opinion, because you can get tech points that way, and it also, you know, knocks him off guard. And I've never, by the way, I love how I'm giving these tips, I have never once beaten Cloud in Final Fantasy, or in Kingdom Hearts. So hopefully I can bring back, you know, my luck from previous Let's Plays, which has pretty much been non-existent now that I think about it, and finally beat Cloud. Now, as far as I understand, it doesn't matter if you beat Cloud or not, because you don't get anything for beating Cloud. Oh no! Wow, Donald, you were really on the ball there. I'm kind of surprised. But yeah, so it doesn't really matter if you beat Cloud or not. No! I was about to say Cloud, you better not. But eventually you do get his Sonic Blade ability or whatever, and I always thought that that was only if you beat Cloud you got that item. That is not the case. You still get it either way, so I'm not sure what the point is of this fight really, other than just having Cloud in the game, because I think if you beat Cloud, I think you should get something awesome, because this is a fight that not a whole bunch of people win, I don't think. And also, by the way, I should have probably mentioned this, but I have been doing it, so I guess it is kind of obvious. If you use the dodge roll ability, it makes it really easy to dodge his Sonic Blade ability. I don't think I've been hit by that yet. Now, that ability right there is one of the cheapest in the entire game, in my opinion, because once he's in the air and he starts moving down, I think he should be done. Like, you don't get to move anymore after that. Now, let me go ahead and use, let's see, what do I want to do here? High potion on myself. In my opinion, you know, I am the most important person in this fight, not really Donald or Goofy. I mean, they do help, but obviously you want to keep your own, I mean, look out for number one, I guess. Now, that is one, no, roll away. Now, I wish I had equipped a Mega Potion on myself. Let me just go ahead and use an Elixir on myself. Alright, we're gonna get him here. There we go! I cannot believe I just defeated Cloud Strife with a key.
Oh, right, there was one other rule. I forgot. Accidents happen.
Hey, Phil! Get them out of here!
Woo, that was close! That was Cerberus, the Guardian of the Underworld. Herd should be able to handle him. But then again, maybe not. This doesn't look so good. Close enough. Now, one thing that I've noticed. Cloud was sent to kill Hercule. I defeated Cloud, so by the transitive property, does that not mean that Sora is actually stronger than Hercules? Have I been saying Hercule this entire time, by the way? I hope I haven't, because Hercule is definitely not a character in this game, or even really any games, except for a couple of fighting games you guys may have heard of. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and save and, you know, quit the episode here. I like how I'm saving and quitting like it's a game or whatever. But in the next episode, we are actually going to go ahead and fight that evil demon dog we saw there. So I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts, and I want to see you guys back for the next episode.